Welcome everyone, this is your host Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. First of all, this channel is proudly sponsored by Durandal. Durandal is a tabletop role-playing game set in the times of Charlemagne's court, with mythic chivalry and legendary warriors. You will find it in the description and in the pinned comment. This channel is also proudly sponsored by the Red Room Publishing. Please check out their store for exclusive tabletop RPG products. They have recently released Savage Swords. This is a Conan-inspired tabletop RPG where you get to explore ancient civilizations and confront forgotten nightmares. You will find it in their website. The link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. This channel is also proudly sponsored by Dead3 Studios, the publishers and developers of Dames of Asstoria, a tabletop role-playing game where you play as monster girls, experiencing high adventure in a world that doesn't fully accept them. They have recently released Daughters of Lamb. This is a pay-what-you-want tabletop RPG, where you play as cybernetic nuns with guns, looking for the missing pieces of their AI god. You will find it in their website. The link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. Today, I am continuing my review series featuring Twilight of Empires. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, featuring this tabletop RPG based on the Golden Age of Spain, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about Habsburg, Spain. In 1516, when the young Charles I ascended to the Spanish throne, few could have imagined that this would mark the beginning of nearly 2 centuries of Habsburg rule that would see Spain reach the pinnacle of global power, and then witness its slow, inexorable decline. The story of Habsburg Spain is one of magnificent contradictions. The Habsburg dynasty wasn't always known by that name in Spain. They were more commonly called the Casa de Austria, House of Austria, and their members often emphasized their more prestigious princely titles. The territory Charles inherited was already vast. However, Charles found himself ruling over a patchwork of kingdoms, each with its own laws, customs, and privileges. When Philip II inherited his father's empire in 1556, he received a dominion unlike any the world had ever seen. Under Philip, Spanish power reached its apex. The annexation of Portugal in 1580 added its vast colonial empire to Spanish domains, creating a truly global power. Now, let me verify something concerning Philip. Alright, now everything is consistent, Yet even at the height of power, the seeds of future problems were visible. The flood of American silver, rather than strengthening Spain's economy, led to rampant inflation throughout Europe. Philip's reign was marked by constant warfare. Because of this and other things, for example, religion played a central role in Philip's policies. He saw himself as the defender of Catholicism and in an increasingly Protestant Europe. The reign of Philip III ushered in a shift of Spanish fortunes. This was between 1598 and 1621. There were precedents to this during Philip II's reign or governance. Under Lerma's guidance, Spain sought peace with its enemies, signing treaties with England and agreeing to the 12 years truce with the Dutch. However, Lerma's most controversial decision was the expulsion of the Moriscos, former Muslims and their descendants, in 1609. The period saw Spain increasingly caught in what historians call the 17th century crisis. Philip IV's reign, 1621 to 1665, began with renewed ambition. The year 1640 marked a turning point in Spanish history. Portugal, which had been united with Spain since 1580, seized the opportunity to rebel. And the Catalan crisis revealed the deeper problems within the Spanish state. Meanwhile, Spain's involvement in the 30 Years' War proved increasingly disastrous. The last Habsburg king, Charles II, between 1665 to 1700s, embodied the dynasty's decline. During his reign, Spain became increasingly peripheral to European politics. Yet even in decline, Spain remained vast. When Charles II died in 1700 without an heir, the question of succession triggered the War of Spanish Succession, signaled the end of Habsburg Spain. The conflict would result in a Bourbon dynasty taking the Spanish throne, bringing significant changes to Spanish governance and society. The Habsburg approach to ruling Spain reflected their broader experience governing diverse territories, with a decentralized system that had advantages in maintaining local loyalty, but creating also significant inefficiencies related to trade and tax systems. The economic story of Habsburg Spain reads like a cautionary tale about the dangers of apparent wealth because of this. Spain's agricultural sector suffered unique challenges as well. The powerful Mesta, the sheep-herding guild, enjoyed royal protection that allowed their merino sheep to trample farmland during seasonal migrations. And the expulsion of the Moriscos, mentioned previously, also dealt another blow to Spanish agriculture, particularly in Valencia and Aragon. Now, there are many other nuances, but we will take a look at those in the next part, as this part closes with the Habsburg decline. This section of history, at least as presented in mainstream history, is somewhat complex because of certain contradictions and cultural shifts. So I highly recommend that you really look into things, but because this is a tabletop RPG, you can come up with your own version of the events. Thank you for watching this part of the review. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the Super Thanks button. Take a look at the information in the description and in the pinned comment. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. And remember, master roleplay and you will master the game. Once again, thank you and see you later.